Welcome back. Dom here. It's been a while since we've done a little recap. Some of them we've just obviously been posting up the workouts and putting them into that members section of the blog for people to just simply follow through. Most of you who are in there already clearly know we don't really add too many new movements. Although that said, you're going to start to see me simplifying things a lot more as I roll out this next program, which is probably going to take us a good maybe 26 to 30 weeks. And I'm simply going to cycle through some strength-based blocks, some combat conditioning, which is what I'm currently doing now, and then obviously some variations in just some simple body weight type workouts. But we're going to simplify it. We're just going to keep it to so your vertical pull, your vertical push, your bend squat, your twist, your lunge, all those patterns as per normal. But we're going to keep them down to like maybe a list of 6 to 10 movements, just so that we can dial in and get the movements down pat. There are multiple variations of different movements and you can do, and I think more importantly, it's best that we focus on getting better at the foundational stuff, and that's pretty much what I'm trying to do for myself. So we won't be balancing on BOSUs, we won't be jumping on Swiss balls, won't be doing none of that stuff. You want that there, go to TikTok. That's where you're going to find those idiots doing it anyway. So that being said, today's block, as you can see with the title Assault Bike, which is behind me, we're going to do some deadlift variations, working on the hinge component primarily, and broad jumps. So we're starting off with a 3-minute warm up on the bike. You're simply going to get yourself to a pace. I chose 66 RPM. I'm just going to sit there for the 3 minutes, and you will slowly but surely see that heart rate get escalated. And while we're also doing that is, again, I'm wanting to have my lower body particularly work out, and here because I'm going to use this for some of what we call, there goes the truck, triple extension work. In the first block of this, it's a couplet. It is, we're going to do deadlift with the barbell will be down here on the floor, and we're going to pair it with broad jump. But what we're going to do, we're going to use this band today. So as you can see, if I step in onto the band is going to be anchored to something. The key thing here is to get it set at that hip height. Let it go into the crux here. So if I'm bending forward, this is where I want to be. I want my legs to be here already. So when I'm doing my deadlift, I'm having to extend and drive, okay? So I'm wanting to drive my hips out, therefore pull through the band. It's going to force me to finish my lockout. So down, push, down, push. And again, I'm trying to use the band to help me emphasize the fact that I've got to lock my deadlift out by extending through my hips and squeezing my glutes. So again, I'm doing sets of 20. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a set of 10, put the bar down, count for 10 seconds, do a second set of 10. Okay, and that will count for my first round of 20. I'm then going to hop outside and we're going to do some broad jumps. But we're not doing broad jumps for distance. We're going to do them in a high arc. I still want to hit about 2 meters or thereabouts, which is relatively easy for me, but I'm trying to hit that in a high arc. Now what that means is that when I engage through here, I'm not just jumping forward, I'm trying to extend that through my hips. So it's almost like I'm doing, trying to do this through the arc. So again, I'm trying to get my extension through my hips, and then I'm bringing my legs down to the jump. So therefore I'm working on this extension, and I'm doing this because a lot of the things I've just spent the last week and a half traveling up and down the country with my son at various basketball tournaments, and one thing I'm seeing is a lot of kids, basketball players, don't get what we call triple extension. So when they go to jump, they extend through their ankle, they extend through their knee, and to finish off their jump, they have to extend through the hips. Now the big guys and girls don't have to do much. Big long lanky arms, they're just doing this. They really don't have to jump, okay? Slam dunk for them is nothing. And it doesn't look impressive because they're tall. But it also goes to prove the point of how lazy they are as a basketball player. Yes, they're relying upon their height, but then comes along someone like my son, who is not 6'8", who has just touched 6 foot and is lean, and who is dunking on them. Yes, he is getting the jam into the 10-foot hoop. In actual fact, when you see the vertec, which is where they measure they're standing vertical, and then there's about 1.5 meters of what we call feathers above that. He is blowing past the vertex from a standing jump, as well as his single step, and as well as his running jump, and he's getting up to almost like 1.5 feet above the vertex, which for him, that hand is getting up past the 11, nearly to the 12-foot mark. This is a guy who is not 6 foot fully just yet. He's maybe 6, maybe 5'11" and a touch. So we're working a lot of his stuff. So you'll see, if I group post videos of him, he's doing a lot of this work as well too, because it's extension through the hips. So therefore I brought some of that into the training program, so that some of his mates and his teammates and kids that follow me can see that if an old fart like me can do it, then they can learn from that too. It's not about going heavy with the deadlift. Again, this is only 60 kilos. Then to start, it might be just the bar. It might be the bar instead of 5. It doesn't make a difference, but it's about the movement and here and driving through the hips, because that's what the extension is happening, and that's generating the power and therefore their vertical jump. Okay, so that's the couplet. Set of 20 in here, going outside, a set of 10 broad jumps, coming back in. We're doing this 5 times. We're then going to come back inside and we'll do the back squat. Now, not all kids can do the back squat, and mum and dad, if you're watching, I'm not going to encourage them, therefore they can do a goblet squat where they've got the weight here in front of them. But what I'm working on for this is full ROM, or full range of motion. So if your range of motion is here and that's it, because you've got trouble with your hips and your knees, then that's fine, you're going your full range. But we're emphasizing getting, literally the term, ass to grass. So if my ass to grass is here, I'm down. As you can see, my hips are turned out, my feet are turned out. I don't have the relevant dorsiflexion through my ankles without me tipping forwards. Therefore, I turn them out, and then I can sit down and I can push this out, and the barbell is obviously going to help me sit in the bottom of that. So I'm not going for weight. I'm simply coming down for a set of 15. Sitting at the bottom, pausing, coming up, coming back down. I'm using the weight, my full range, to work on developing strength through, not only through my hip flexors and my glutes, but also these guys in here, the adductors, because people like me who are not great in this plane, but rely upon this plane, need to recruit these guys a little bit more to help compensate for the fact that I can't get the full range down. Something I still got to work on. So again, after this couplet, we're going into back squats. The final couplet's a pretty simple thing. With a little finisher, we're going to use the assault bike and push-ups. We're going to go for 5 rounds of 20-second sprint on the bike, trying to get to around 80 RPM. It's not flat out like a lizard drinking, but it is fast enough, coming straight off. And we're trying to go for, it might be, in your case, it might be max push-ups. In my case, I'm hitting 30 push-ups. I've still got more in the tank and coming back in, but I'm trying to get 5 rounds of this. By round 3, those 30 push-ups, they are a struggle. Now, I can get to 20, and if I have to hold at the top, I can hold at the top. I cannot hold at the bottom. I cannot tap out and let go. I cannot put my knees to the floor, come under my elbows. I must lock out at the top, right? And I also must not rest there no more than 3 seconds. I count, if it's 3 seconds, fail, forget about it, go back and start again. I'm looking to build up some muscular endurance in these bad boys, and also through my back, my upper thoracic, to help me work on getting my push-up volume, because it's something that I simply want to do. As a 53-year-old man, I want to be able to hit 53 push-ups. I want to be able to hit 50 unbroken, because 55 is the benchmark in an event that I want to do later on in this year, and that is unbroken. I can do that now, and I want to keep continuing to do that. So that's the workout for today. Can you do all this stuff at home? Yes, you can. In the write-up, you will see an at-home version where we're going to swap out all this stuff. We're going to replace the assault bike with a skipping rope. Push-up is a push-up. The squats can simply come into a sandbag, right? We can hold the sandbag here, or hold it in the back squat position, or your rucksack, which is a weighted backpack. Simply take some sand, whack in some parcels, put it in the backpack, and all of this stuff you can see that we can do at home. Clearly, the weight's nowhere near what these guys are, but it will still get you through. You simply might just have to adjust the volume to find out where that fatigue point is, where you've actually got to start really doing the work. That's it. My name is Dom. Please like, please subscribe, please tell a friend. Want to know more? Simply comment. I don't mind. I'll comment. You'd want to throw some stupid comments in there about you need to do this and that, fine, cool, no worries, I'll call you out too. And if you can like to comment and feedback in me, I'd like you to put up your money where your mouth is and let me see what you're doing, because at 53, I'm probably still here and I'm probably still kicking your butt too. That's it. My name is Dom. Peace.